the best in the world.
What I'd like to have right now.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Because I was right before I was cool.
Are you ready?
It doesn't matter!
I said, are you ready?
I'm a sexy beast, baby! I was up all night!
And I'm
Welcome, everyone, to the Longest Railing weekly episodic podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Cheyenne Ortiz, being joined right now by...
German announcer Holger Boschen.
What?
He was one of the German announcers tonight at Roadblock, Holger Boschen. I sent the picture in the group.
Vidania?
Huh?
Which is actually Russian. I just realized I said Dos Vidania, but that's actually Russian.
Yeah.
So German.
Holger Boschen.
Yeah, Heil Holger.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome to the For Life podcast, end of the line, or end of the weekend.
Yeah.
Well, let's get right into it. Tonight was WWE Roadblock, end of the line,
yes.
the final pay-per-view of WWE's calendar year.
Thank God we've had... How many have we had this year?
Too many.
I mean, I work for the company. I know. I don't even remember how many pay-per-views we've had this year for WWE.
Including NXT. Wouldn't it make the number upwards of 20?
Let's see. Rumble, Fastlane. Do you want to count that first Roadblock?
It has to count. Roadblock,
Mania,
Rumble, Fastlane, Mania. I'm at 4. What was after Mania?
Payback.
Was that the Backlash thing?
Payback. Extreme Rules.
Extreme Rules. Backlash, right?
No. Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank.
Battleground.
I'm at
SummerSlam.
8, 9,
Backlash.
10,
Clash of Champions.
11,
No Mercy.
12.
Hell in a Cell.
13.
Survivor Series.
14. It's like doing the countouts for WCW versus the World on PS1. 14.
TLC.
15.
And Roadblock, end of the line.
16. Pay-per-view / network.
And we're going to have more next year.
Is it next year 19?
I think so, because we didn't start the year with the brand split. That was already by September.
Oh, and by the way, guys, that's 16, not including, off the top of my head, at least 2 NXT takeovers.
Well, NXT takeovers, what do you have? Was there anything before...
Dallas.
Was there anything before Dallas?
Not that I know of.
Or was there... I think it might have been at the end of last year. Or the end.
No, I think...
Okay, well, let's say Dallas. Was there one between Dallas and Brooklyn?
Was that... No, because it couldn't have been, because what was the main for Dallas?
Dallas main was Balor and Joe. Then there was the one where Balor and Joe had the cage match.
In the cage. 2. 2. Okay, Brooklyn. And then they did...
Toronto.
Canada.
Yeah.
4. 20. 20. 20.
Plus you have 3 hours of Raw, SmackDown, NXT, 205 Live, CWC. You got this UK tournament coming up in January.
Yep. Oh, man. People's DVRs are just going to be like, fuck you, at the end of this one.
Seriously. And that's if you actually watch TNA, Lucha Underground, Japan, Ring of Honor.
And if you do, I don't know where you have
Flow
the time.
Sports.
I
mean, I'm watching Lucha Underground now just to have something on the TV while I'm doing this.
Yeah, just some white noise.
I watched TNA for the first time this week just because it was the Total Nonstop Deletion.
Yeah, which we're going to have to get into.
Yeah, we can talk about that after. All right, let's get into Roadblock, end of the line.
Take it away, because I'm only... I am 1 minute and 38 seconds left for the Iron Woman match.
All right. So the opening match was for the tag titles. Cesaro and Sheamus won the right to face them, I think, a tribute to the troops, which I guess nobody knew about. Oh, no, actually, the pre-show was Cass and Rusev.
Yes.
Yeah, they,
Wasn't it only a 7-match card, 8 with the pre-show?
I think so. Or maybe 7, including the pre-show.
Okay.
Pretty quick. Enzo came out, did a promo, and then pretty much it was like one of my like 2K17 wins where Rusev kind of baited Cass to go to the outside, and they were fighting in the crowd, and Rusev happened to make it into the ring before they counted 10.
Okay.
So he won by count out.
Okay.
Opening match for the main card, Cesaro and Sheamus against New Day. I mean, you kind of figured that since New Day already beat the record, they might end up losing the belts because they beat the record already. I mean, on Monday they beat the Club and Cesaro and Sheamus, and then they went on to beat Jericho and Owens and the Shield in the main event.
Phenomenal match.
Yeah. I thought this was a really good match, one of their better matches, I would say. There was a spot where Sheamus went for the bro kick, and Xavier pushed Kofi out the way and took the kick. And the finish came when Sheamus was going for a tag with Cesaro, and Cesaro kind of moved his hand back and faked the tag and got in the ring and took the Trouble in Paradise from Kofi. And when Kofi went for the pin, Sheamus ran in and pinned Kofi for the win. So Kofi was under the impression that Cesaro was the legal man, and Sheamus pinned him.
Okay.
So the second match...
How'd the crowd take that?
They seemed to pop for it.
Okay.
Who was in the second? What was the second match? It's tough remembering the order of these matches, despite it just happening like an hour ago. Oh, it was Braun and Sammy.
Okay.
Where Sammy had 10 minutes to survive against Braun. So if Sammy survived the 10 minutes, he would win the match.
Okay.
So Braun was kicking his ass through most of the match. Foley comes out with a leather jacket and a button down and a tie and a towel.
Okay.
He's going to throw in the towel, and Sammy's kind of like crawling up his leg, and he grabs the towel and throws it into the crowd and basically just continues the match. By that point, there was already like 2-3 minutes left. And at that point, Braun just keeps running at him, and Sammy keeps getting out the way, so Braun goes into the post, he goes into the barricade, goes through the barricade. Basically, he just keeps avoiding Braun until he makes the 10 minutes and wins the match.
Okay.
Third match was Rollins and Jericho. Jericho asked Owens not to come out. Owens came out anyway. Kind of caused a distraction with Rollins beating him after the pedigree.
Okay.
After that was the Cruiserweight title, triple threat. They had Austin Aries on commentary, which I thought was pretty good. And Rich Swann won. After the match, Neville's music played. Neville came out and beat the shit out of Rich Swann and TJ Perkins.
So the Neville heel turn, which the WWE app told me about.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he just ran down an ambush. He got a full entrance?
He got like the full entrance with the bowing, like he comes out like kind of kneeling down, has the cape. He came out like clapping and congratulating Swan, and like when he went out to like shake his hand, he just like beat the shit out of him, and then TJ ran in there to save him, and he started kicking his ass too.
Okay.
So I thought, that was one of the highlights of the show for me.
Oh, Sasha Banks is leaking.
Yeah.
Oh, that mouth. Gingivitis is the number one cause of all tooth decay.
And after that was the match.
Ref, get your gloves on.
After the match is the match that you're currently watching right now, so you can speak on that one.
Sasha's got that hood forehead. You don't know what's in that blood, Ref. Get a glove on. I don't know, Ref. Sasha looks like the building she used to live in as a child. It's all checkered tiles. If you're from Harlem, you know what that means. You know what you've done.
So what are your thoughts on the Iron Woman match?
Well, currently they're in overtime. To kind of play the tape back, if you will, I really enjoyed the opening. Mm-hmm. I thought it was very solid and old school. I liked that they basically stood in a lockup to kind of... Sasha Banks looks like Jack Nicholson after he's been thrown off the roof in the first Joker film, where he's completely smiling and all you just see is red coming out of his mouth. That's what Sasha Banks looks like right now.
But is she smiling or is that just her face? No,
that's just her face. And then she's got that tan Crayola complexion. She looks like a Frappuccino with blood at Starbucks. So I really enjoyed when they locked up and they literally stood on the ground jockeying for the lockup.
Yeah.
That was cool, very old school, very world of sport.
I want to give a
this is
shout out
set.
to Jones for pointing out in the Facebook group where I guess people were complaining that the match was starting slow, and he said, "Well, they are pacing themselves for a 30-minute match." So, thank you, Jones, for that
yeah,
one.
seriously. Yeah, I'll.
Thank you for the
now
logic.
I'm gonna go in the group just to put that shit up.
Oh, at one point they tagged. I turned off the notifications because I didn't want to be bothered. And at one point they tagged me when Sasha came out. And I guess somebody made a comment that I'll complain about the criticism about Roman, but I'll troll and I boo Sasha. No, I mean my only response was, well, people dislike Roman because it's the cool thing to do, and I'm just not a fan of Sasha's. Like I don't.
Yep.
There's not really much of an explanation for that. I'm not the biggest Roman Reigns fan either, but I'm just speaking as far as people hate him because it's a thing to do. I don't hate him.
I agree.
I'm not buying his merchandise. I'm not bringing signs for him, but I'm also not hating on the guy.
Yeah, every fan should be respectful at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I also felt like during that, well, we're getting a little ahead. Let me finish here. I thought it was an old school open, great wrestling, great catch as catch can. The staircase spot was pretty scary. I thought Sasha cracked her head open pretty much.
Yeah.
The way that Charlotte hit the natural selection the first time was great.
Mm-hmm.
The first fall was
off the top rope, right?
The top rope was cool.
Mm-hmm.
The second fall was cool because it was a flash pin. You didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
What else was there in this match? It was just overall a great match. I'm going to go on record right now and say this one was better than Bayley and Sasha, my opinion.
I would say that. The ending.
I think it was.
Match, yeah.
I think it was, and I think seeing this match made it worth seeing them work 6 times.
Yeah, I mean, they emphasized that this was their last match, the end of the line.
Yeah, it was worth it. It was worth the build. It was worth seeing them work again.
And it's like let's give them give them a break from each other and let them if they're gonna fight again, let it be like let them go all of 2017 without fucking fighting at a pay-per-view or having a big Raw match or
same thing they did.
But the thing is with so much TV, they're bound to like fight again because they said the same thing about Sami and Kevin Owens, and they've already had like 2-3 matches since their quote unquote last match.
Correct. I thought it was great. I thought Sasha looked phenomenal and strong and very prideful. Mm-hmm. Charlotte, slide out the turn, best woman wrestler on the scene today.
Agreed.
Is in fact Charlotte. I think commentary did a great job of putting over both women, but Charlotte and her numerical records especially, which are in fact unheard of. Michael Cole put out facts that even I did not even know about Charlotte's record, about how her record is more flawless than that of Hogan, Brock, and Taker. I think that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Overall, Charlotte...
Because even Brock lost within his first year.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I'm even going to go as far as saying that, honestly, the wrestler of the year this year, it's either AJ Styles or Charlotte.
Yeah, definitely the best male and female. And
Yeah, if you want to do the 1-1, yeah, there it is. But overall, it's got to be one of those two. And, I mean, Jesus, phenomenal for the two of them. And then we go into the main.
And I feel like it's, if anything, she's surpassed the, like, kind of, maybe for you on your end, because you are, like, Flair is your favorite wrestler. Like, I feel like she's surpassed just being Flair's daughter.
Oh,
as
absolutely.
far as your opinion of her. Yeah.
This year was her year.
Because I feel like in NXT, it was favoritism because she was Flair's daughter.
Yes.
Yeah, and I feel like she's surpassed that.
You have, I'm going to put you in you have this year began, the Pittsburgh Steelers are currently at Roadblock in the front row. Hey, you think the Pittsburgh Steelers stole those seats? Anyway, since you're watching more NWA TV and stuff like that, and you kind of have a better background,
what am I up to? I'm up to the Clash where it's Terry Funk and Flair and I Quit match.
So you're in 89, right?
Yeah, I'm about to finish 89.
Okay.
After that is Starrcade.
Okay, well let me put you on a hot seat.
Because I've pretty much watched every pay-per-view and Clash since the first Starrcade. Up till now.
Yeah.
Up to that.
I'm going to say this is either this is either Charlotte's year is comparable to either Ric Flair winning the title from Ronnie Garvin at Starrcade 87 going into 1988, or is this more comparable to Ric Flair's 1989? And that's a big fucking statement I just made.
I would say more 89 with Steamboat.
Right? Yeah, I mean...
Like, her and Sasha are Flair and Steamboat as far as that back-and-forth rivalry and putting on great matches.
Yeah, so...
Look, I said something positive about Sasha, everybody.
Yes, for wrestling fans, for those who are listening,
So would Bayley be the Terry Funk? As far as the next
I guess she's the fall girl. I guess. I mean, yeah. I think this year for Charlotte is literally comparable or the equivalent in her career to Flair in '89. I think it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, because I'm about to. I think I just finished the Pillman Luger match, and I still have to watch that I Quit match, and then from there it's Starrcade.
Okay.
Because I haven't like the Saturday nights are too much, so I've only gone with the pay-per-views and clashes.
The Pillman Luger match, what's that about?
I think it was for the TV title.
And who's in the I Quit?
Flair and Funk.
Oh, I thought it was something else you were referring to. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
And then, the I Quit is the first one in Troy, New York. That happened
this one's in New York.
That happened 27 years ago, I think 2 months ago.
I think so, yeah, because in the next show, it was between Halloween Havoc and the first Halloween Havoc and Starrcade. And this clash has
first Halloween. Let me tell you, that first Halloween Havoc, phenomenal.
I love the set. The Clash of the Champions set is my favorite. The one that has like the light upstairs coming down.
Oh, at the Omni.
No, this is the one in Troy, New York, I think.
Didn't they put the same setup as the Omni in Troy?
I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe because it was a while since I've seen that one, but this one, maybe this one's more fresh in my mind.
That to me is always the Omni setup because that's really what they did for all the big WCW shows.
Yeah.
At that time, that was actually the pay-per-view setup.
Yeah.
And that was right when Turner started financing them more, so they kind of put that as the TV special setup. Because that's actually the special.
So at what point does WCW get shitty?
At what point?
Yeah, is it Jim Herd?
90.
90? Okay, so I'm almost there.
90 to 90. Yeah, 90 to 93. You're going to start seeing some bad shit.
Yeah.
Basically, right before Flair loses in Japan, I would say 2 months before that.
Okay.
Is when you're going to see a huge
shift.
No, not even. Actually, you know when it gets bad, and it's going to sound real stupid, but if you know the backstory, then you maybe understand this analogy.
Yeah.
When Flair's hair gets cut.
Okay. Was that it when they wanted him to be Spartacus?
Correct. When Flair's hair gets cut is when you see
all the changes. Cut his hair and put an earring on and be Spartacus.
Are you kidding me? Walk around with a diamond earring, go around the airport, and nobody recognized me. I hated it. But yeah.
Because this Starrcade, they were already advertising this Starrcade is going to be like a round robin challenge with, I think it was Sting, Luger, Muta, and Flair.
Correct. One of my all-time favorite Starrcade pay-per-views, even though the matches on that are terrible. But it's a round robin tournament, 4 singles and 4 tag teams.
Okay.
And it's Flair, Luger, Sting, and Muta. Like you said, the tag teams are Road Warriors, Doom, Wild Samoans, and the Steiners.
Yeah.
Which, if you can watch on a bootleg version with the original music, it's way better.
Yeah.
The tag matches are really messy. And you can tell, like, the
I bet with those 4 teams.
Yeah, and you can tell, like, the Road Warriors are just, like, trying to chop beef, you know? The singles matches, obviously, are way better. I think the 2 best ones is probably Flair Muta or Flair Sting. And a really good one on that card that I feel like doesn't get a lot of credit is the Muta Luger matchup.
Okay.
Is exceptionally good, and it's heel. So it pretty much has one of the best finishes for a heel match you're ever going to see.
Yeah.
Because it's actually more important to do a safe finish on a heel match because there's more to protect.
Yeah. I'm definitely looking forward to checking that out soon. Once I finish Clash.
When you watch it, let me know so I can add commentary.
Yeah.
You know, because that's I still have the VHS for that.
I might have one that I downloaded years before the network when I downloaded like all the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
But I put that on one of my old hard drives just because it's on the network, so I didn't want it to take up space.
Yeah. That is that's one of the last VHSs that I still have.
Mm-hmm.
Is that one, because it's just that pay-per-view, for whatever the reason, has a very special place in my heart.
Yeah.
Very special, that one. So we'll now transition from special pay-per-views in my heart to the main event of Roadblock.
End of the line.
End of the line. We now turn to Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns.
I was kind of in and out because I was cooking, so you can probably take over this one.
To be honest with you, I thought this match was better than the TV one they did 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was slower. It was the right pace for pay-per-view. They get a real slow build, and it's not like they went fast at the end, which I thought was good. They kind of kicked out to a lot of big
spots,
things, to a lot of big moves. So I know people are going to say they kind of weakened down their moves. I think it just kind of made the build better.
Yeah. And
I think it just kind of made them like, wow, everything they had to put on the other guy to put him away.
Yeah.
I understand the finish. I think they did the right thing. I think it would have been, if Roman would have won, there would have been a negative reaction. And if Owens would have won clean, that would have been fuel to a negative reaction.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they went with what they went with, and it's clear to see that they have bigger plans in mind for the Jericho-Owens feud.
Yeah.
So it was
and I like that
cool
they teased it. They had Jericho hit him, but then after that they made up, and it was kind of came across like it was part of the plan, but Owens was still kind of confused.
Yeah.
And then the Shield attacking and putting them through tables.
Right.
I thought it was pretty cool that they utilized the Raw announce table up by the stage.
Yes, but even though it was clear as day, I think Michael Cole kind of gave it away.
Oh yeah.
I forgot what it was. He said, "Oh, guy," I think it was like, "Oh, guys, they're coming over here," and I was like, "Oh, okay, so they are gonna go over there."
No, because when they were, I guess my feed was a little faster than Jamal's, and I said, "Oh, is KO gonna go through the Raw announce table?" And I think he had just seen Jericho go through the Spanish announce table. He's like, "No, they just put Jericho through the Spanish announce table." I was like, "Oh, mine's a little ahead of yours."
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think this match was great. I think the only thing that kind of bugged me was when Owens didn't get the cannonball, Reigns came with the Superman punch.
Yeah, that was a little too quick.
Yeah, that was too quick, especially since he had just missed it, not even a minute beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
And him kicking out of it kind of wore it down, because that's become, instead of a finisher, because he was kind of using that as a finish for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
And then that is now the setup for the spear.
Yeah.
So the same way that Lex would hit the power slam and then the torture rack, that this is his power slam, is a Superman punch.
Yeah.
So I just kind of felt like that kind of diminished the move a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like once you get the Superman punch, it's time to take the spear.
Yeah.
So I just felt like him kicking out of it after already missing it didn't make the move very valuable.
Yeah.
It wasn't something that Owens as a champion should have been scouting for. Now, okay, all I got to worry about is the spear.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that's me being very analytical about it. Your thoughts, comments, concerns?
From what I saw of the match, I thought it was a pretty decent match, and I like the ending, and kind of leaves it open as to where they can go for the Rumble.
Yeah.
I know Jamal suggested a fatal four-way. Do you see them going that route, or one-on-one, or?
I think it's better if they went with a fatal four-way.
Well, yeah, because then it also keeps it's 4 guys that aren't going to be in the Rumble. That opens up more spaces in the Rumble from
Correct.
Guys. Especially
Correct.
If Roman's in the Rumble, people are going to be pissed off. Rollins, I wouldn't mind, and I guess you can kind of start the Triple H feud here too, or I don't know, and then plant
Yeah, I would. I actually, you know what? I think we'll do the fatal four-way and have Triple H cost Rollins.
Yeah.
Because that way Jericho and Reigns are still safe.
Yeah.
So that's where I would go in life. That's what I would do personally. Overall,
And that kind of removes
show.
3 favorites from the Rumble.
Yeah.
Because either 3 of those guys are logical favorites.
Mm-hmm. Overall, it seems like a okay show. I mean, what do you got?
I mean, like I said, it's just tough. Like, this is our 5th show and 3rd pay-per-view recap. So I think they're just oversaturated. I'm kind of happy that there isn't another pay-per-view until a little over a month from now with the Rumble.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be the UK tournament, but I don't think I'm going to go too crazy for that. I don't know any of the guys in there, with the exception of Nigel, who's a commentator.
Yeah, which a lot of people, not a lot of people, this was on the internet today, that he's got like heat or Ring of Honor or something like that.
Well, I don't know. I haven't heard anything. I know like a week before they posted that he wasn't the commissioner anymore.
Okay.
So I don't know what the maybe the heat is that he left so abruptly.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was apparently the way that he left or something like that, and apparently he's using this as a catalyst to become a commentator of sorts at Ring of Honor. And he left early on his deal. It was something let me see if I can pull the article up, but that's, small.
I mean, that's kind of, for them to lose Nigel and then most likely losing Carino in the next couple weeks and whoever else's contracts are up.
Okay. I
mean, right now the Young Bucks are the only ones that have re-signed with them.
Yes, as of now, because everybody's saying the scoop is going to be...
Because Carino was on Apter's podcast. He pretty much said, I'm not going to comment until after my contract is over at the end of the year.
Uh-huh.
So that was pretty much that pretty much gives it away.
Yeah.
And even Adam Pearce has, I think Adam Pearce posted a picture on Twitter of them, and so, creative meetings or something like that.
Okay.
So, that's pretty much a given, and I'm not sure as far as other guys' contracts, whether it's like Jay Lethal or Adam Cole, or I'm not sure what the status is for those guys.
Well, like I said, between Rumble and Mania...
Yeah.
Gonna be pretty interesting.
Well, like I said, I'm not expecting anybody to say anything before any contracts are up, so.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Same way Carino didn't say anything. I'm not expecting anybody else to say anything.
Yeah, nobody's gonna stitch themselves out.
I know.
Well, in indie news, I found some stuff out. The Dudleys and the Hardys were at House of Glory.
Yeah, that was last night, right?
Last night, and I heard that they did a pretty good show, and they moved around a lot better than people were saying.
Mm-hmm. And they were in a match with
EYFBO, and to be honest with you, I don't remember who the 4th tag team was.
No.
Because it was a 4-way. And I know EYFBO won the tag titles, because obviously, the Hardys and the Dudleys were not going to take a pin, and that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's
still pretty cool for those guys. If people don't know the history, they started off as backyarders in New York, kind of like we did. So it's cool to see guys that started like we did have a match of that magnitude with those teams.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. They're both the few times I've met the guys, they've both been pretty cool with me. So I'm happy for them.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, and I know those guys. I'm not as cool with them as my other friends.
Yeah. Same here,
it was cool.
Yeah.
And the fact that they worked, because, when you're in the indies and you get a big superstars, not all of them want to work.
Yeah.
So it was cool to hear that they were professional and nice and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And I think Alberto's doing that next House of Glory show.
Yes, that got announced today that Alberto Del Rio, if you will.
Or El Patron.
Will be at the, or Patron or 1800 or whatever. Yeah, he'll be there.
Yeah.
He'll be there. Real quick, let's adjust Raw, even though the streak is over. New Day wins the retains the WWE Tag Team titles twice in one night to surpass Demolition's record in a phenomenal triple tag team contest where they took on Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
As well as Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. Phenomenal matchup. The ending was great. Mm-hmm. To see the enthusiasm and the elation from all 3 men and the camaraderie, I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
SmackDown, apparently, from what Bosch informed me, they had a fatal 4-way matchup.
It was Ziggler beat The Miz, Ambrose, and Luke Harper in Elimination 54. Who the fuck is this big guy?
Also in another... Oh, Lucha Underground. It has to be what you're watching, right?
Yeah, what the
Someone sent me that clip.
It's like a big guy with like a mortis-looking mask?
Yeah, wait till you see what he does when he gets in there.
Yeah, he just got in the ring now.
Yep, 3, 2...
That's a weird fucking looking mask.
Did he do it yet?
Hold on.
3, 2...
He just did a double choke slam.
Oh, he hasn't done the big kick yet.
These guys look like Power Ranger villains.
The best. The best is when the crowd is like Luchasaurus.
Yeah, I don't even know what the hell. I don't even know what to describe these guys as. They look like turtle dinosaur mask.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he is.
Hey, 4Life listeners, this is The Cap here with Mike the Finance Guy and Ralph the Tech, inviting you to check out our Geektastic podcast, Meanwhile 22 Pages Later.
So if you're a Whovian, a lover of capes and tights, a gamer, or a TV movie watcher, and you want some very honest reviews from some very funny guys,
check out our podcast. It's on iTunes and also on SoundCloud. And if you want to join in the discussion, check out our Facebook page. Oh, and by the way, that 22 is the number.
Now, back to Bosch and Cheyenne.
Total Nonstop Deletion. You saw it, I didn't.
He just did a fucking tombstone. Okay, you already look like the Undertaker. Now you're gonna do a tombstone? Come on.
Well, of course. He's the Luchasaurus. Total Nonstop Deletion.
I liked it, but I think it just went on way too long. As far as like the
they got the full 2 hours?
Yeah, they had the full 2 hours. The opening match was Rockstar Spud versus King Maxwell. Basically, Senor Benjamin came in. He tased Rockstar Spud, and Maxwell pinned him. And from there, it was funny. They cut to a Disco Inferno backstage, kind of looking through the curtain. He's like, well, at least it wasn't me this time, which I thought was great. And Holger Boschen just liked my tweet where I'm asking, who is this guy with my name?
I hope Holger Boschen becomes your friend.
Then it was Sienna. She put out an open challenge to be number 1 contender for the Knockouts title. And first Vanguard 1 came out, but the referee said that a drone couldn't fight a woman. So then ODB came out and they had a match and Sienna won. Then it was Lashley versus Eddie Edwards for the title.
Oh, that happened at the compound?
Yeah, and they started the match in the ring, and Lashley speared Edwards through the wall, and they ended up fighting in the backyard somewhere, and they just kept fighting throughout the night. I don't even think there was ever like a clear winner for that match.
Okay.
Then there was like one clip from earlier in the day where the Rock and Roll Express showed up at the house. That's the one I've put on your Facebook wall.
Yes, the Expressive Rock and Roll.
Yes.
That rocks and rolls, yes.
I thought that was pretty awesome, just seeing them interact with the Hardys.
Yeah.
And then was the Apocalypto.
Yes. What now? Explain the rules of the Apocalypto.
It's basically an elimination tag team match.
Okay.
In simple terms, I don't even know how to describe this. All right, the teams in the actual match, it was the Express Rock and Rolls. It was the Helms Dynasty, which was Trevor Lee and Mark Everts, I think was the other guy's name. Then there was Decay and the Hardys. Okay. So they started the match, and then as the match started, there was like smoke going off in the building where they had to evacuate the entire audience. Then they started fighting outside. The Hardys and the Express Rock and Roll, they Matt Hardy gave them all like these rocket launchers, and he's like, let's show them the babyface fire, and they started shooting fireworks at the two heel teams as they were running away in the field.
What?
Yeah. At one point, they kind of make it to the entrance where there's like a bunch of like random indie teams that show up, and the Decay just starts beating them all. The Bravado Brothers showed up, which I thought was and they kind of snuck past to get in there. And then Rockstar Spud was teasing his big partner was going to show up eventually, and then led to a commercial break. And I'll give you one guess who his big partner was, if it hasn't been spoiled.
Oh, was that Hornswoggle?
Yes.
Okay.
Basically, Hornswoggle turns on Spud and he gets pinned by, I think, one of the Bravados or the Helms team.
Okay.
At one point, James Storm shows up with his team with the mask where they look like Jabberwockies.
Oh, for the Crusade for DCC, go on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And basically they kind of called back to the Deleter Decay, where the Decay beat up this random like truck driver. So it was the truck driver in the mask, and Abyss pinned the truck driver, and that eliminated James Storm's team, and he was pissed off because he didn't even know who that guy was.
Okay.
And then I'm trying my best to remember this.
Okay.
At one point, the Hardys and the Rock and Roll Express are fighting in the ring in the compound. So they're having a match, and then out of nowhere, we come back from commercial, and Jeff and Ricky Morton are on these two forklifts, like way above the ring. I don't know why.
What?
Yeah, and then at one point, Jeff does a swanton from the forklift, and Matt Hardy kind of just elevates Ricky Morton up even higher to like the top of the forklift or the crane, and he just leaves him up there. And he's like, "Hardy, you broken son of a bitch, get me down from here." Then it cuts.
So when Jeff did the swanton for the forklift, who did he swanton?
Gibson.
Oh, so Robert was down there. Okay.
Yeah. Then out of nowhere, like Ricky Morton's just up there like yelling and screaming and cursing and let him down. And then it cuts to, of all people down at the bottom, Road Warrior Animal.
What?
When he's like, "Ricky, what are you doing up there? Is this a rib?" Then we just never see him again after that.
Okay, then.
I think at one point it cuts back to Lashley and Edwards fighting somewhere, where Hornswoggle tries to tackle Lashley and just like bounces off of him, and Lashley is like, "What the?" Just looks at him like, "What the fuck?" And they keep fighting.
Okay.
Then the Hardys are fighting with Helms' boys. Then Helms goes into the Oh no! At one point, one of those guys are going for a pin on Matt Hardy, and the boat breaks up the pin. The dilapidated boat kind of just like shifts over and knocks the guy out.
Wait.
The boat broke up a pinfall.
What?
The boat broke up a pinfall.
Okay.
To quote Jim Cornette refuses to watch any of this because he likes the Hardys too much to watch this, and he doesn't want to hate them.
Well, at least he's honest.
Yeah. So from there, probably the highlight was when Helms gets thrown into the Lake of Reincarnation and comes back out as 3 count, and the other two guys are dancing while he's doing the 3 count gimmick.
Oh my God! I gotta see it if he dances 3 count.
Yeah, and then they throw him back in there, and he comes back out as Hurricane.
Okay.
And he literally buries his team, like with shovels, and they bury him in the yard. And Matt Hardy and Hurricane said, "Now this is a burial that the man with 3 H's would even approve of."
That's good.
And then
that's good.
From there, they're fighting with the Decay, and I think Eddie Edwards and Lashley somehow appear in there. And there's like a big explosion volcano, and some Crazy Steve somehow ends up in the explosion, and it like launches him up in the air, and he lands in the ring and is pinned. And then the Hardy family celebrates.
Right.
And his wife tells him that she's pregnant.
Of course.
And that's how it ends. I'm surprised I remember half of that shit.
That's the ending?
Yeah.
They all eat tortilla chips?
I guess so. That was Total Nonstop Deletion. I don't know where TNA goes from here.
I got nothing. I have absolutely nothing.
I mean, yeah. I would say that the Rock and Roll Express stuff was cool. The 3 count was funny. I mean, I would just say just watch the Apocalypto match just for all the crazy shit that happens, which is probably about a half hour. But I would say like the rest of it wasn't anything too crazy.
I thought the robot motorboated somebody.
Huh?
I thought the robot motorboated somebody.
I don't believe so.
Didn't Jamal say they got motorboated by ODB?
Unless I missed it.
Okay.
Listen, I tried to I recapped that better than I've recapped anything ever in the history of this podcast. So don't give me shit.
Okay, Jesus. Don't gotta get hot about it. Yeah, overall, another boring week in wrestling for the most part.
Well, there was the announcement of the UK tournament.
Oh,
for
yes,
the UK
title tournament that everybody's shitting on. I don't know about if it needs the belts. I think that would have been a trophy thing. But I'm excited for it, certainly.
I mean, I'm not familiar with any of the names. I guess it's tough because, I mean, I'm surprised they didn't put Sabre in it, and they can't get Ospreay because Ospreay's contracted, and I mean,
I'm excited for it, and I think.
There's not much on TV in January, so I might just check it out. I mean, I'll check it out and give it a shot.
I think it'll do very well.
Yeah, and I know I think they're doing a women's tournament soon, like they did with the CWC.
Yeah, that's the rumor, and
I'm guessing that can be. I mean, they already have a women's champion in NXT and 2 in the main roster, so I guess that can lead to.
I can confirm 4 women have been signed for that, or under the impression that it's going to happen.
I mean, I feel like that can lead to either like an NXT women's title shot, or do you think that it can lead to like a main roster title shot?
Why not a main?
I don't know. I mean, maybe at least SmackDown, or even Raw. I don't know. I mean, we can see what comes of it. I mean, I don't see them giving them another belt because they don't need it. The division already has 3.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
All
right. So now that Charlotte's undefeated, who do you see eventually beating her streak on pay-per-view? I don't see it being Bayley. I would hope it's not like a Nia. Would you have it be somebody like Asuka?
That's what I'm thinking.
Because right now, Asuka's also undefeated in NXT.
That is Asuka right now.
And I don't see anybody beating Asuka until they put on maybe Ember Moon.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Yeah, not much going on this week besides all that. No drama, no big stories aside from the Hulk Hogan robbing.
You want to start talking about the Rumble since that's the next pay-per-view, or like how they would book it?
I don't think there's any. Can you try to book the Rumble now without knowing who's in it?
Or like who would you, or maybe throw out like who do you think would be some surprise entrances?
I don't think that Goldberg or Lesnar are gonna win.
I don't think so either.
Surprise entrance, my number 1 has to be Tatanka.
Tatanka? I mean, he was in the WrestleMania Battle Royal, so I wouldn't be surprised.
It's
Do you think we finally get Jake in the Royal Rumble? Because I was watching the '97 Rumble because Pritchard went over the '97 Rumble on this podcast this week, so I wanted to watch the show to be
up to date. I'm almost done with the first hour, so don't spoil it.
Of the Rumble or the podcast?
Of the podcast.
I mean, I'm not gonna spoil any. I mean, as far as just watching the Rumble show, that was to my knowledge, that would have been Jake's last Rumble.
Yeah.
Because after that, he didn't do anything. So, I mean, I think it'd be pretty cool if that was his first Rumble since then, if he came out, even if it's. I know that's the one thing he's been like wanting to do for years since he cleaned up.
Yeah, I'm just drawing a blank on
anything.
What else? Yeah, basically, like what else happens?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's been a slow week.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm relaxing.
Yeah. If any of these fans want to get one of these nice For Life podcast shirts, where can they get them, Cheyenne?
They can get them at redroll.com/people/4lifepodcast.
Nice. And if they want to follow us on social media, where can they follow us?
At 4lifepodcast.
All right. And what about on Facebook?
Facebook.com/4lifepodcast.
And anything else?
Now,
yeah.
No, I got nothing else. It was a dry week. And now, a couple little cliff notes here. Where are we on Operation Get a Female Intro? Where are we on that?
I haven't heard a goddamn thing.
Yeah, okay, I figured as much. Now, I'm going to give, just to kind of bring some insight here.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a match of the week.
Okay.
I'm going to do a match of the week here, kids. Match of the week for everybody to see. If you love the Coliseum home videos, to the best of my knowledge, this is only exclusive to the old school Coliseum home videos.
So not on the network?
Yeah, correct. To my knowledge, this is not on YouTube, but it is on dailymotion.com.
Uh-huh.
My match of the week is the Steiner Brothers versus Bret and Owen Hart.
All right. If you have the link, you can send it to me. I can attach it to the.
I will do that. If you love wrestling, then that's the match you want to check out, pretty much.
Cool.
Very slow, very old school. 4 amateur backgrounds coming together as one.
Yeah.
The Harts, of course, old school, trained by their dad. A lot of people don't know about Stu Hart, but he was in fact a Greco-Roman wrestler when he started off in Canada.
Yeah.
So his ways were super old school. I don't remember about Owen, but I know Bret was in fact also a mat wrestler in school, including winning awards and medals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The Steiners, forget it. In Minnesota, they were the real deal. And the Steiners, as far as I'm concerned, were ahead of their time. The Steiners, in terms of the Steiners, are like the original Suplex City machines.
Yeah.
the Steiners, Taz, the Iron Sheik, Bob Orton, all those Harley Race, all those guys are basically original suplex machines. For some reason, I can't find the full 30-minute link, but I'll send you the first half and let them figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Steiners, and as far as I'm concerned, I feel like if you're not from our era, you don't even know about the Steiners.
Yeah.
So again, the Steiner brothers versus the Hart Foundation, and you can also actually find if you're like me and you watch wrestling on Facebook when it comes up, you can actually find the full match on Facebook.
Okay.
So it's on there too, if you can find it. But yeah, that would be my match of the week pick. I'm even gonna go as far as saying my superstar to watch, if you will.
Yeah.
I think we should be expecting big things from Lana next year.
Yeah.
That's what I would go with right now. And I think everyone should watch that King of the United Kingdom tournament.
That's January 14th and 15th. So still
basically, it's a 2-night extravaganza. I highly recommend everybody watch it, regardless of what people feel about the belt. Do I think the belt is the prettiest? No, but I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I personally, because I'm old school, to go to trophy, but that's just me.
Before you know it, the Dusty Classic's going to be a belt.
I hope not.
I would hope not too. I'm just saying that because they keep putting belts on everything.
Yeah, I would hope not. And you know what? I'm going to start something new, even though we'll probably only get one response on it. But I am curious for a conversation piece that I think you and I have had in private. And I know on some older episodes of our podcast, this has come up. So I'd actually like to do a Springer sound off, if you will,
okay,
about this topic. Here's a question. The time is 1984. The Iron Sheik is your WWE champion. If you were to go with someone, aside from Hulk Hogan, to end the reign of the Iron Sheik and basically ride the crest of the wave of momentum and become the face of the WWE for 7 or 8 years to come, who would you choose to be the man to vanquish Hulk Hogan and begin the new era of the WWE?
This is actually pretty funny because Jim Cornette's podcast, his co-host, has a podcast also called 605 The Super Podcast. It's a pretty long show, but one of the few episodes I listened to, him and Cornette actually discussed. He actually asked Cornette this very question, and they discussed it.
What was their answer?
I know Austin Idol was one of the choices.
Dusty that I know of. Dusty Rhodes, Jimmy Snuka, Austin Idol.
Yeah. And I don't know if Kerry Von Erich would have been one of them, or I don't know if he was around yet.
I don't know that, but I do know for a fact the Freebirds were going to be a huge part of the Rock and Wrestling Connection initially.
And they had Heat with Andre.
With Andre, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I remember.
Yeah, who else was Cornette mentioned?
I think Austin Idol would have been.
Referee, watch the hair. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like me.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. And I know that.
And I mean Austin Idol. I met him at the Fan Fest. Pretty cool guy.
Austin Idol will still fuck anybody up.
Oh, his arms look better than mine. He's probably like 70.
And I remember in one of the first posts in the Fighting Spirit group I ever commented on, that was part of the discussion. But I know at one point Dusty Snuka, I had heard Austin Idol. Yeah. Never heard Kerry Von Erich.
I have to go back and I think that was just one of the ones they were throwing out there, but I have to go back. Like I don't even remember when that was from, so I don't even know if I can find it.
Yeah, heard rumblings of DiBiase coming in as a babyface.
I think Cornette might have been. I think Cornette would have been the one to mention Idol because he was from Memphis.
Right.
So that would have made more sense if he mentioned it.
Yeah, and I know that it was actually Vince Senior, and it took Mike Graham and I can't remember who else recommending Bob Backlund for his push.
Yeah.
And Jim Cornette on his podcast, I got to hear a sound clip of it, and I recommend everybody listen to it because it's extremely detailed. It's fascinating. It's about a 7-minute video on YouTube. If you're an old school wrestling fan, Jim Cornette in detail explains the rise and fall of superstar Billy Graham. Extremely detailed stuff that I did not know.
Yeah.
I've
been a mark for Cornette's podcast for years now.
Yeah. Now that I'm starting to actually get into the podcast now
Yeah.
with the new job and everything, and having the time to listen to it.
Oh, because you're traveling around, so you have time to listen.
Yeah. So, great. They're phenomenal. Cornette goes in great detail explaining the rise and fall of superstar Billy Graham. So I highly recommend everybody check that out.
Yeah.
That's all I got. I gave you guys a match of the week, a question topic, a podcast to listen to. Bruce Pritchard is doing Rumble 97. Definitely recommend people check that one out.
Yeah, I finished it today. It was good. It was really
If
good.
you're an indie wrestling fan, the next time you catch me doing my thing commentating for Ace Pro Wrestling, that's going to be at Ace Redemption. Main event on that, Stockade versus Monster Back. Crowbar is going to be defending the flight title against Ricky Reyes and Sebastian Cage. I expect that to steal the show.
Okay.
And F&B, Anthony Ramirez taking on Adam Payne. Those are the 3 matches that have been announced so far.
Okay.
Superstars scheduled to appear include the Dukes, the Golden Showers, a.k.a. Prince, Akhenaten, and Ultimo Maya. Anthony Gagnon, TJ Marconi. No longer Alvin Alvarez, now known as the Black Diamond.
Okay.
And several other stars scheduled to appear. And that's going to be on the first weekend of January 7th, Saturday night. And a huge announcement for American Championship Entertainment is coming very soon.
Oh, it should be interesting.
Correct. And for those, because people have asked me, so in case anybody wants to hear it here, Hero Celebration is still scheduled for the first week of February. It's on aceprowrestling.com.
When would that be?
It's first weekend of February, I believe. Let me give you the exact date.
The 4th?
From the website. That sounds right.
Okay.
Because the following should have been, it would have been Mikey's birthday, and I don't think they want to go that route. They don't want to go that close. Hold on, it's spawning now.
Because the 11th is a UFC show in Brooklyn.
Yeah. February 4th, yes.
Okay.
February 4th of 2017, Hero Celebration. By the way, if you are a huge fan of journalism for wrestling or indie wrestling, you have to check out John Harder's editorials about Ace right now. They're phenomenal and a great way to get the wrestling talent over. If you're a fan of the old school WWF magazine columns, John's work is where you want to go. If you are a fan of the old school WWF pay-per-views in terms of in their original form, I strongly recommend you check out Golden City Saint on Instagram. Hold on, let me just make sure I'm saying his name right, because I gave somebody else wrong yesterday. Hold on. Golden City Saint on Instagram, and he does all the original WWF shows.
Okay.
He does original, beautiful graphic design cover for all these shows. They're the original VHS burns.
Yeah.
He also has obscure stuff like the preview shows, like the March to WrestleManias, the Countdown to Survivor Series. Beautiful stuff. The covers is really what sells. He also has stuff that's not on the network, including he has the entire Georgia Championship Wrestling library.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Available for purchase on his page, and you can buy them in sets or you can buy individual DVDs. I think the box sets are actually a cheaper deal, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me just say, because I want to kind of mention the territory stuff, because that's a bigger selling point right now for those that are not network subscribers, which, by the way, if you're not a network subscriber, I don't know what's wrong with you. All the world-class stuff in their original form. And then there's super tapes, too. He has something that I wanted to get from me and you. He has the Brawl to End All, the original MTV special that was before WrestleMania, not on the WWE Network. That is there. The War to Settle the Score is on there. In its WrestleVision form, the Wrestling Classic special is on this gentleman's page. Again, Georgia Championship Wrestling. All of the European rampages that at one point you could only see on YouTube. And I think off the top of my head, as I'm talking, you can only see them on YouTube. The SummerSlam Spectaculars, the March to WrestleManias, all of that stuff, it's all on there. The Battle Royal at Royal Albert Hall, that is part of this man's repertoire. UWF Beach Brawl and Blackjack Brawl. I mean, come on. The Star Wars, which was the WCCW's super card at the time. The Cotton Bowl that they used to run. They also used to run the Parade of Champions. The Smoky Mountain pay-per-views are on there. The AWA specials are on this man's.
He sells these?
Yeah. Houston Wrestling. I mean, I'm literally going through his page just marking out because there's things here that I didn't even realize he had. And here's a big selling point for my 90s marks. All, and I mean all, of WCW Thunder covers for every single episode. You like ECW on Sci-Fi? Check this guy out. Impact Wrestling before everybody got signed to the WWE. This is the guy to check out. Okay, and huge selling point for me because I didn't realize he had this many. All taped versions.
Are we getting free copies of all this shit for your 15-minute plug?
I'm gonna message him right now and he writes back to me. He's great, but I gotta tell him, hey, listen, dude, I just put you over heavy. Can I get a freebie?
This is like half the episode is putting this guy over.
Well, I'm pressed for time. All the MSG house shows, Maple Leaf Wrestling, Wrestling at the Meadowlands, the Spectrum. The guy's got it all.
Send me the link for that too.
Yeah, Golden City Saint. Golden City Saint, and that's golden_city_saint on Instagram. He does phenomenal work, and I'm not going to put him over as much because of all the time I just sucked up. But Mr. Coliseum on Instagram. Follow him already. Yeah, he's mostly Coliseum Video. He doesn't have as much obscure stuff, and the tape from Coliseum Video that I'm looking for, he doesn't have, and he didn't write back to me.
Yeah.
I think I just buried him in it early. I didn't mean to. Sorry, Mr. Coliseum guy. Those are my plugs for the week. I think I did it all. I think I filled the time. What do you think, Bosch?
I think that's perfect.
There we are. There we go. By the way, I heard that Paige is a pain in the ass on Total Divas. Is that correct?
Yeah. Her relationship with Del Rio.
Okay, yeah, and a lot of people were telling me that this week, and I was like, I would have never guessed that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she seems so lovely. All righty, I think that covers it. I literally just put my hand up my ass, and I got nothing left. I don't got anything here, kids.
All right. Well, when you listen to your podcast,
you're listening to it for
life.